Welcome to Grief Healing for Moms. I am your host, Fabiana Batista. I had my own loss story with the death of my 4-month-old baby. And even though it was the hardest time of my life, that was also a time where I began a healing journey and I began my grief journey, which has brought me to create this podcast so that in hopes to create a space for other moms to find hope and to find healing as well. For my guest today, I am interviewing a very special woman who did not necessarily suffer the loss of her own baby, but it was also actually the loss of her younger brother. As a sibling, a lot of time we experience motherhood through raising and sharing lives with our younger siblings, and that was actually her case. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you, Fabi. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
And I know we've been talking a little bit about, and we'll get more into the story, but we want to honor today your brother's story, which, like you said, a lot of time as an older sister, we end up playing that motherly role. So thank you for being here today and for wanting to share his story. And I hope that we can honor his life and baby Dex's life by just even speaking about them. But before we get started with the story, tell me, what made you want to share Christian's story?
So I'll tell you that it was very close in time to when you had a loss. And I remember your strength actually gave me so much strength to realize that speaking about it is such an important part of healing. And so I loved going on my own social media, and it felt like a small therapy session. And I figured, I'm so happy that you're doing this because I think it is going to help other people. Because when people realize that what they're going through, they're not alone. Other people have gone through it. There is some glimpse of hope. And I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that I was able to be that for you. I know it was only about 3 months apart between when Dex passed and the incident with your brother. And I had people, other women that when Dex passed, that came out and just said, hey, even women that I had known for a while, for years, and I didn't even know that they had gone through anything like that. So I agree, it's so important to hear other people's story of what they went through, but also how did they heal? Because I remember asking when somebody told me, hey, I had a similar experience that I lost a baby, and I didn't know. I had known her for many years. And hearing their story gave me also hope. But the thing that I think was missing, which is why I wanted to create this podcast, is, okay, but how?
Right.
How did you do it? What did you do? What did you eat? Where did you sleep?
Important.
What did you try? What didn't you try? What worked? Out of all the things, I wish there would have been a guide, to tell you, and obviously everyone grieves differently, but what worked for you? Tell me what worked, so maybe I'll try that and maybe it'll work for me as well.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, but then maybe there might be something else, right? So as long as you have different tools, right? That's kind of what it is.
Right.
This healing journey is, like you said, every coin has two sides. Everybody's going to do it differently. There's no right or wrong way, but just try something, because the worst thing you can do is kind of get stuck there and not continue. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's so important.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about Christian's story.
So when I saw that you were doing the podcast, it was so important to me to tell my mom, because when my mom, obviously she lost her son, I lost a sibling. Because I helped raise him and he lived with me, she would share with me, but you were like a second mom to him. And that would hurt me more than help me, because I was like, don't take that from yourself. Right in my head, there's only one mom, your mom. But I did appreciate that she gave me kind of that. I did help him a lot. And we were 8 years apart, and he lived with me towards the end. So obviously that kind of played a role in it.
But you guys were very close as well.
We were, and it was such a blessing. And obviously you don't realize it. We had dinner every Friday, no matter what we were doing, whether he had a girlfriend or not, he was always like, what are we doing Friday? And we always had dinner. And it was so important to me, but I didn't realize how important it was until obviously it's gone, right? So the accident, my brother was in a motorcycle accident. He had gotten the bike sometime in November. Well, his birthday is November, and he had gotten the bike around that time. And I actually blamed myself for a while, because the bike was a bike that he bought from my husband. So it was a bike that my husband owned first. And I've learned through the journey that, you know what, he was going to get a bike no matter what. It was that one or something else. So actually it was a safer bike because we knew where it was, all that. But he had been going out for a couple months. I knew that he was always safe as far as like a helmet, you know, maybe not the jacket, but the helmet was so important to him. I knew it was. So Wednesday morning, he comes home, and I don't know if this happened to you, but when you lose someone, you kind of hyper focus on the last memories of everything. Like I wanted the last time I saw him, the last time I talked to him, the last thing I said to him. I wanted all those memories when it happened. So I guess I'll go kind of back and forth. Wednesday morning, he came home. He had worked, and my mom made him breakfast. I remember kind of screaming at him like, shh, everybody's sleeping. That's kind of one of the last things I said to him. And then he went out. Later, the whole day passes, and after midnight, we get a phone call. But I wasn't getting the phone call for some reason. My phone didn't ring. My husband's phone didn't ring. And I heard a knock on my door, and it was my mom. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? She's like, oh, my husband's best friend happened to work with my brother. And so he's like, he's on the phone. He's calling about something about an accident. And right away, I knew. Like, I knew this wasn't going to be good news. I knew I needed to get into that older sister, I'm the person that handles everything mode. So I said, okay. I asked my husband. He wanted to come so badly. And I said, no, you need to stay. We have a son. I had a 2-year-old at the time. You stay with him. You stay with my mom. I'm going to call my dad. And I wanted to share, one of the main reasons I wanted to come talk here is because if you are someone that is always responsible, that you always have to kind of take control and do things for your family, it's okay to do that. But also take care of yourself, because those emotions are going to come in at some point. And you don't realize that, right? So in the moment, I had zero emotion. It was like, get things done. So his best friend picked me up, my husband's best friend, and we're driving to the accident scene. And I'm kind of, you know, based also on my work, I'm a prosecutor. I've had friends that work in traffic homicide. So I kind of have an idea, but I don't really know, right? So we're driving, and somebody else is on the way to the accident scene, and they call hysterical. And when they're hysterical, I know what's happening, but I couldn't say it. I couldn't verbalize it. And so I take the phone, and the person's crying hysterically, and they're
somebody that knew you guys.
Yeah, another friend that worked with them. Oh. They were closer, and so they showed up. Oh. And they confirmed that he had passed. He had been driving on I-95, and there was an accident with a car. There was no witnesses really, but
this is at 12 o'clock
right past midnight. Yeah,
oh.
Right past midnight. So 12:30 something. Other people showed up, and how life would have it, later on we learned, like someone that we know's husband showed up. Like it's just crazy how God intervenes, and it works in such mysterious ways. But a lot of people showed up, and they called the police, I guess, and ambulances and all that. And when he showed up, and they confirmed, you know, they put a bag over his body, he was gone. I had this tone, this like dry, like, okay, I'm processing what needs to be done. And he was upset with me. He was like, why are you not crying?
Who was upset with you?
The person on the phone that was telling me the bad news. And I was like, I need to figure this out. Because
but you hadn't even gotten there yet.
I didn't, but I already knew, right? So to him, it was like, I just told you what did become one of the worst news of my life, but I processed things differently.
I mean, you were probably frozen. Like.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like, what's happening? I don't really know. So we show up to the scene, it's closed, and I said, you're going through. I don't care that it's closed. So we go in, and we get pretty close. And now there's a bunch of police cars, and I see the motorcycle far away. I can't see him. I don't see a bag. I try to get out. An officer approaches me and says, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's my brother. I need to see my brother. What's going on with my brother? I had already known, but I almost needed that visual confirmation. Yeah. And he was like, no, you can't get out of the car. I'll have a detective come over, stay in the car. And I asked him, is he wearing a helmet? Because it was important to me that my mom got a chance to see him again. In my head, it was important to me. So I said, his head's okay though, right? His helmet, and they didn't answer me. Yeah. And I didn't know anything of why they didn't answer. The detective approached me. He said, we don't need you to identify him. He had ID on him. You can go, and somebody will come over later. Yes.
Go where?
Go
I would have
home.
been like, I'm not leaving here.
I know. And I go back and forth on whether I should have just ran up to him. There was cars,
Yeah.
police officers. This is the way we handled it. As we're leaving the exit, I see now a bag. And so I do know where he was laying. And I do regret not wanting, I wanted to see him. But a lot of people have since told me, like, there's a reason
Probably
you did
better.
it. Right.
Yeah.
So fast forward. I skipped the part. I'm sorry. On the way to the scene, I called my dad and I said, you need to get to my house. These are the worst calls you could ever make, right? My mom lives with me, so she knows something's going on, but she doesn't really know. And I'm waking up my dad now at like 1 a.m. saying, come to my house. There was an accident. I can't tell you anything else. Come to my house. And this is where I start like feeling now. Like now I'm like, oh my God, I need to walk into this house and tell my parents that their son is gone. And so my husband approaches me and he tries to hug me, and I hug him and I just kind of push him away because I have a job to do. I have a duty and I have to go tell my parents. And I couldn't say the words, Fabi. Like, it took me so long. It's been 5 years and I couldn't say he died. Like, that term, never a thing. It was always, he's no longer with us. He passed, maybe I kind of said. But so imagine having to give this news, but you don't have the words.
Yeah.
And I just walk in and I'm like, he's no longer here. And they're not understanding that. They want those words.
Yeah.
And so my mom drops and my dad, and I hugged them. I didn't know what to do. And then it kind of hit me, but still not really, because I knew all the responsibilities I had to do, all the things that were coming. And something that was very different for me was, if anybody had passed in the past, I don't know why, for a little bit, like, I wouldn't want to go to certain rooms, or like, not like I was scared, but I don't know. There was this emotion in me. When my brother passed, I welcomed that feeling. Like, I was like, please, like, if you're here, like, it's okay. Like, I'm not scared anymore. It did that for me. So we all stayed up all night. Around 4 a.m, the police came. They knocked on the door. I tell a lot of my coworkers this because they really are not trained to give this information. Yeah. They kind of took it on like, oh, well, you already know. And you kind of like, sorry, here's his wallet and like phone. And
what?
They just didn't know. They didn't know how to tell parents that their loved one had gone. And they just, I think, took advantage of the fact that, well, you kind of seem like you're put together and you knew and you took the news well, so you kind of tell them. So
yeah, but no. There should be some training for, if you're going to be a police officer that's out in the field and this is the kind of incident that you're going to encounter, there needs to be some training for them, at least, on how to say the news to the loved ones.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I share it with my coworkers, because I want other people not to go through that.
Right. Because
I kind of was like, okay, thank you, take the bag. And they just left. And I still was left with this news, you know? So fast forward the morning, my parents started calling and sharing the news with other people. And I want to share that because I was upset. And I don't know why. I kind of took this grief as like, I know how to do it the right way. I know how everybody should be doing it. I don't know why. It had been the first time I experienced something like this. And so I was like, why do you care to call other people and tell them? Like, why is that what we're doing right now? But I then realized that's how they were coping with it. That's how they were dealing. They needed that support system. And so the news was going to come out anyways. They chose to deliver the news. And so that's kind of his story.
And then it really began.
Yes.
After that, I would expect.
Yes.
How was your mom during that time?
So
what was she questioning? Was she in denial? Like, what was she numb? Like, what was she like?
I've in our sorority, we had somebody pass away, and I remember going to that funeral and seeing mom. And I remember seeing moms that have gone through loss and how, for the most part, they have some sort of medication, or they seem like they're not, everybody's so different. And my mom wasn't this way. No, she was quiet, but she kept busy. I think it's what it was. we didn't eat. It was hard to eat. It was hard to drink anything. And I remember the next day, we went to Dunkin' Donuts. And it's like a core memory because we hadn't smiled, right? Because it's one of those things that you're like, how do you smile after this? How do you do anything after this? And we went to Dunkin' Donuts because I was like, we need to drink something. And I don't know what caused us to smile. We had cappuccinos and we smiled. And instantly she felt so guilty. And she was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, Papi, like talking to my brother. Like, I'm not happy. And I was like, Mom, he's not going to want you to be like this forever.
Yeah.
And it was like a weird breaking point because it gave her the ability to know that you could feel something else. It's not always going to be this dark path. And it was so early on, right? Like the day after. But I really think it was my brother. Like he was there telling us it's okay.
Well, he was a very happy person, at least from what I can.
He was.
I always see like the stuff that I never got to meet him in person, but I know you and how you are, and I would expect that he was also the life of the party, like
he was, absolutely.
dancing and laughing. At least everything you post, he seemed like such a happy person. So I would expect that he probably wanted to see you guys okay.
Yes.
But what was so I know everyone has a different journey. Like I'm sure your mom experienced different emotions that probably you did, but we can talk about both. That's okay. What was specifically your, I guess, lowest point? And like what helped you to start getting out of that lowest point? Because I feel like we all hit rock bottom maybe a day later, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later. Everyone, it's a different time frame, but everyone gets to that point.
Absolutely. I can also share that 5 years later, the cycle still kind of continues, but just at different dosages, right? Like I found myself angry the other day again, out of nowhere. I was
thinking about the accident?
Well, no, just angry that he doesn't get to experience some things. Angry that I won't get to see him get married. Angry that I don't know why anger was what came out, right? Okay. So I just think it's important that we know that and validate that it's okay to kind of go through the cycle and it's going to go in different ways and it's okay. But acknowledge it because if you don't, it's going to be worse. Yeah. One of my lowest points was maybe 3 days later. I remember saying like, I can't turn on the TV. I can't do anything. I don't know how to do anything now because it felt like it was a big break in my life before the accident and after the accident, right? And I would cry and I would be upset, all the emotions. And my husband was a big help. He said, you have a little boy. Like is it fair to him that his mom is gonna be sad for the rest of his life? And I know that, maybe some could say like, oh, how could he put that on her? But I think it helped me.
Of course.
It's that perspective that like, wait a minute, he didn't do anything.
You still have something else that
right. Like he didn't do anything to now have a sad mom for the rest of his life. So he said, even if you don't feel it, you have to kind of fake it till you make it a little bit, right? Like find a way to show him that he has a happy life. And then somehow it will kind of just become a reality, right? And I think the biggest thing for me was always acknowledging my brother. Like it's so important to me that my son knows my brother. They shared so much time together and he was only 2.5. And my daughter never got to meet him, but she knows Theo Chris. Like he's just so present in everything. And I think that really helped. But
was he asking, was your son asking at the time? Because he was living with you guys. So now a couple of days pass by and he doesn't see Theo.
Yeah. So I think my son is very comfortable with the topic of death. And I think it's because obviously his experience, but I think it hit him very late, like 2.5 years later, around really? 5 years old is when now he became aware. Oh. And so he's like, oh, because Theo passed and Theo was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it took him a bit longer. I guess he was just too young to process.
When that happened, how did you explain it to him? Because he's 2, but I feel like they still know.
Yeah, they do. So, I mean,
do you remember how you told him?
Not exactly word for word, but I know I did say like Theo was in a motorcycle accident. He knew that he drove a motorcycle. He had put him on the motorcycle in the past. Mm-hmm. And he's no longer with us. He's in heaven with God, you know, and I've read different things that say, like, you know, some children now become scared and they're always looking up, like, is there something? But he wasn't scared. He accepted it and he was happy with it. And it's very normal. And so if he ever has a sad day at school, he'll tell people, like the teachers, oh, it's because I'm sad about my uncle. And so he's very aware.
But honestly, like, I know, and I feel like I tried to do the same with Dex, because when he passed, Davin was turning 2 in 3 days. So it was about the same age. And I told him the same thing. I said, you know, Dex he actually, that night when we got home from the hospital, like, I told him, we picked him up. My mom had picked him up from daycare.
From the same daycare, right?
From the same daycare. Yeah. But we were already at the hospital, like in the ER, they were working him. And after everything happened, I mean, I called her to tell her. But right when we went to her house, we picked up Davin and then we went home. And so that same night I told him, because he asked me, he's like, where's Dex? Where's Dex? And I said, he's not here. My husband, actually, it's funny because my husband, Danny, couldn't say it. Who couldn't tell him. But yet I'm the one that told Davin, but I couldn't tell anybody. And the same thing, like I couldn't say he died until recently.
Right.
Actually, I would always say it in a different way, like, he passed, he's not here. But I couldn't say he died. Like, Danny's the one that called people that we knew and to tell them, to give them the news, because I couldn't.
Right.
I couldn't physically
verbalize
say
it. Yeah.
But I told Davin, I said, you know, he went to heaven. He se fue para el cielo con Papa Dios, like, he went to heaven with God. And for a little while, like, he was like, at first he was like, oh, okay. Like, it was, oh, okay, cool.
Because it feels more like a trip, right? Like, he's gonna come back. I think that's maybe the disconnect that they're not getting.
But then everything made sense. Like, I feel like it's okay to say that. He wasn't scared. Like, I was like, he's okay. But he was kind of like concerned that he was okay. He was like, oh, okay. But he was okay. And I'm like, yeah, he's fine though. He's okay. He's just in heaven with Papa Dios. And I left it at that. And
Do you think that later on in like later, now he's a little bit older, has he like asked anything else, anything different?
I keep pictures of him, like, in the TV, like
the stand.
Yeah, that thing that goes under the TV.
Yeah.
I keep his pictures there, and I want them to remember him. So I have his picture there, and I always say, like, you know, I bring him up, and then some days, like the other day, Davin told me, he's like, oh, I miss Dex. And I was like, I know, I miss him too. And it's okay. And even though, like, it's like my heart just like squeezes, but it's like, it's okay. Like, I'm happy that he's remembering his younger brother.
For sure.
You know? And same thing with Dalen. Like, she'll tell me, yeah, because Dex, whatever. I'm like, well, she never met him, but I think it's cute how she talks about him as if, you know, it's normal. Like, it's okay. Okay. So what, when this is going on, you said your lowest point was
just like not knowing what's next. Like, just it felt disrespectful almost to continue my life, right? Like, it felt like it can't just go back. It felt like, even though I didn't want to acknowledge what was happening, I also couldn't let go of the moment. And I was like, okay, now I can't just go sit on a couch and watch TV. Like, that can't be my new norm. I can't waste time. I can't smile. I shouldn't laugh. I can't go on social media. Like, that's such a waste of time. So it just felt like,
so
because there's no guidebook, right? Because there's no right or wrong way. It just felt like, I don't know. And now what? I felt frozen. And so the conversation with my husband really helped. Mm-hmm. I realized, okay, I have to. And so I just made little changes. Like, I was like, okay, I guess it's okay to watch like a little bit of TV. I don't know. It sounds silly, but it made me smile. And then I realized, oh wait, it's not disrespectful. Like, my brother wouldn't want that. And I think, you know, selfishly we kind of say that, right? Like, they wouldn't want us sad, but I genuinely believe that.
I don't think it's selfish though. I think think about it. Like, you always think, I mean, I've thought of and I don't know if that's normal, maybe it's a little weird, but I've thought about like, okay, one day when I die, I wouldn't want my kids, I don't want to see them from wherever I am, heaven, looking down at them and seeing them like broken. Like I would want to see them okay. And even people that you know that are older, they always say, like, I don't know. I feel like when they're already older, like the fact that they're gonna pass, becomes like a thing.
Because
they
tell
you, don't cry, please. Like don't throw a party, do a celebration of life, but like don't cry. And then what do? We wipe our ears with whatever they say, and we're broken for like months on end or years. So I feel like they really do want to see us okay, want to see us happy. Like if they could say, and I had another mom that I interviewed where she said it the best. She was like, they're in heaven, they're in like the most beautiful place, like there's no hurt, there's peace, there's happiness, there's dancing. Like if God were to ask them, hey, do you want to go back to earth? They'll probably say no.
Yeah.
But since they can't tell us that, then we're like, no, maybe not, you know?
Yeah. Funny that you mentioned that. So I think what also helped us kind of, and I say us because it felt like it's a joint pain, right?
Course.
Even though it's not the same level. I can't imagine the feeling of my mom. It was still very, very, very impactful, very strong. And I remember we started having dreams about my brother.
Really?
Yes. And I think that he also helped us. He had to, it's the only explanation we have.
100%.
Because, you know, there's dreams, but then there's dreams that you feel that are real. And like I got to give him a hug one time. And it felt like I gave him a hug. I believed it. Like I know I did. And that helped me. Like it was him showing us it's okay. Like I am happy. I am in a better place.
I'm okay. I'm not in pain.
Yes.
Well, but I think that's beautiful. And those are the what I call the small miracles that I feel like God gives us those moments so that we could heal and so that we could be okay. So I don't doubt those moments. Like those dreams to me, they were God sent. That's just God's way of like saying, hey, here, have this moment. I know you need it. And that's beautiful that you had that.
Yeah.
Some people never get to have those dreams. I know I prayed for dreams like that. I would pray. I was like, please let me just see him in my dream. And I would go to sleep. And then I would wake up and I was like, I didn't dream of him.
So
but it's just
funny that you say that because I would share with my mom and dad. And I think I was a little bit more blessed in that I got to see him a couple of times. And so they would get a little upset. Like they were like, but why doesn't he show up to our dreams? And I'm like, maybe you're not ready to see him yet. Like maybe like, I don't know, or maybe he is showing up and you're just not remembering. It's okay. But I remember my parents being like the same way, you know, like if you got it, I want it. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't control it. I promise it's not something I'm doing on purpose, but I was so grateful for all those moments.
Yeah. What role did your faith play when all of this was going on? Like, were you angry at God or did you get closer to him?
I wasn't angry. I think that if you ever doubt God, something like this makes you not doubt him, but not in the way that you would expect. So I think that maybe I wasn't so close, but this gives me, I want to believe, I have to believe that there is somewhere else, that I will see him again, that I will reconnect. And so it kind of strengthens your faith, I think, because that's part of how I think we're in a better place now with the grief. It's because I'm hoping that one day I will see him again. I'm hoping that that hope is kind of just tied into our faith, and I know that I will see him again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. What about for your mom? Like, what was that like for her?
So, my mom definitely got closer to God. I don't think she ever questioned him. I don't think there was ever a moment of like, how could you take him from me? She, I think, had a better understanding of, you know, they tell us our children are kind of borrowed, right? And they're his children first and they're borrowed here. And I think she always understood that.
Okay.
She did do a lot of things like rosaries and things that, you know, are part of the healing process, and that really helped her. I will say my mom lives with me. I am very blessed that she came and helped me take care of my son. And when the accident happened, a lot of our friends were like, oh, you're going to have another kid. And I felt quite the opposite. I felt like I couldn't protect my brother. I will not bring another child to this earth.
Really?
Like in that drive to the scene, I was like, I can never have another child. Like, because it felt to me like he was kind of my child, right? Like it in a different way.
Yeah. You had a motherly
Connection
with him. He's your younger brother, and you guys were super close. So.
Yeah. And so I remember thinking, like, if I couldn't protect him from this, I can't protect anybody. Like, I can't do it. I will not do it. I will not have another child. It's what I thought back then. All our friends thought, no, you're going to have more children because of it, which is so weird to me. I don't know where the connection is. But the point is, fast forward, I had my daughter, and she's now turning 4. And I think she helped my mom so much.
Really?
Yes, because she had my brother, but my brother was getting, my son. He was getting older. And my son and my brother look a lot alike.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but they look a lot alike. Me and my brother were also very, very like twins almost. It was scary. Even though I would always say that he was like a prettier girl than I would have been a handsome boy. But my mom had my son, and I think that helped her because it was like also seeing him. But then when my daughter was born, it was like, not a reincarnation because it's not my brother, but if you've seen my daughter, like she looks so much like my brother.
Oh, really?
And
I haven't paid attention to that part.
Yes, I get messages all the time like she is your brother.
Wow.
And I personally don't see like this huge thing, but so many people do that. I'm like, there must be something to it. I don't know. But I think she helped my mom a lot.
Really? Well, it was also like that influx of like happiness after such a sad time.
Yeah.
Did you try during this time? Okay, so you were getting back to the normal things in life, right? Like,
well, let me tell you something weird about the normal, okay?
Well, the normal is not so normal, but...
Right, but here's another big thing. So my brother passed February 27th, 2020. COVID happened.
Oh, that's right.
Right at that time. And so usually work gives you 3 days, something like that. My job was amazing. They were like, take whatever time, we got you, we will cover, we will do what you need to do. And I've always, before losing my brother, had never experienced that loss. So I was like, how do people just go back in 3 days? Like, I don't get it. How is 3 days enough?
No, 3 days is not enough.
It's not enough for anything. But anyways, I finally gathered the courage to go back to work March 11th. Okay. And March 12th, they closed everything down. And I think that was God also. And I'm like, thank you, because I was able to go home and be with my mom. And so my mom doesn't like silence. I'll tell you that. She wakes up and has to turn on a TV. And I think part of it is because she doesn't want to.
Since the accident?
Yes.
Okay.
And so like, I always feel like there's noise in my house and I'm like, I just want to turn it off for a little bit, but I know she needs it. And so I think that when COVID happened, it really helped that I got to come home and she was not alone.
Right.
But then we were at the house for a couple of years, and then now she's alone again, you know? So it's all a learning process. And
yeah. Well, she also has her own journey.
Yes.
How did you help her through, I guess, her lowest point? Like, did you see it? Did you know that she was going through like that she had to hit like rock bottom, let's say? And how did you help her through that time?
She would cry. And I think that my way of helping her, at least I thought I was helping, was by not showing her that I was crying, right? So I was like the strong one. And so I would let her have the moment. Like it was like not like it wasn't everybody's moment. It was her moment. Even though later I also felt the same exact way, or before I felt the same way. I think that was my way of helping her, like showing her like, you can do this. It's okay. It's okay to feel these emotions and we're going to get through them. So just being there.
Okay. But do you think that by doing that, were you
isolating her?
No, not taking care of you because you had to take care of her.
Yeah, I do think
did you admit that maybe you kind of like pushed your own feelings aside?
I think I absolutely did that. And I would just on my drive to work cry on my own, right? Like make a CD. Music was very important to my brother and I. He would always send me new songs. I would always send him new songs. And it was like who's going to send the new song first? And I, made a playlist of songs that remind me of him. And it wasn't always to cry. Like there's times that I hear their songs and I smile, I laugh because I see the dance and I see what he was doing and I love it. But I think I had to take care of myself kind of on my own because everybody else needed me to be strong.
And you needed to be there for them.
Yeah.
So how did you take care of you then?
Well, like I said, watching you and your strength and not knowing what you were doing, but I was like, she's still showing up. So I was like, I need to show up. And I think if I had to share something with anybody listening to this podcast is not necessarily if you're going through the loss, but if you know someone that's going through this type of journey and this loss, don't be afraid to talk about that person because sometimes we want to talk about them. And people around us are so nervous to bring them up, thinking that it's always a sad and negative thing, but it's not. 5 years later, I think one of the things that makes me the happiest is when people tell me, like, I feel like I knew your brother. I feel like you shared so much, and I will continue to do that. That's my hope, that I can continue to keep him alive through sharing who he is and who he was and all his happy moments. So if you see, and everybody's different, someone might not want that, but if you see someone that wants that, give them that chance because we do want that sometimes. Does that happen to you?
I have yet to talk to anyone that has lost a loved one that says, no, I don't want to talk about them. I haven't. I'm sure some people experience that.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. You know, that's their own way of healing. But I haven't experienced that with myself or with anybody else. I love talking about Dex as if he's here. He's here right now.
Yeah.
He's sitting right there.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I agree. But I think it's okay to also ask them, hey, you know, I remember, let's say I think about your brother all the time. I have great memories of him. Is it okay? I think it's okay to ask too. Is it okay if we talk about him? And then the person might say, yeah, I love talking about him. Or they might say, you know, today I'm having a hard day, maybe another time.
Exactly.
But I think it's okay to bring that up and then.
But I want people to do that because I feel like the taboo is like
Yes.
that it's always so sad. It is 100% going to be sad. Like it's not going to not be sad, right? We lost someone very important to us, but we might want that. Like, so give people the chance to do that because we want that sometimes.
I did therapy. I went to a couple of therapy sessions after he passed. I think it was only like 5. It wasn't that many. It was a regular conventional therapist. And something that she said, because I didn't know, like, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Can I talk about him? Can I not? Like, what do I do? And she was like, do you want to talk about, and she asked me, she's like, do you want to talk about him? And I was like, I do. I mean, it makes me sad, but it makes me happy at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. And she was like, so talk about him. She's like, it's healthy to talk about him.
Yeah.
And she even said it. She's like, it's healthy to talk about our loved ones that have passed. And you know, it's okay. And it's healthy to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, do it. I was like, but what if some people are not comfortable with it? And she was like, that's okay too. You don't have to talk to them. Talk to talk to other people.
It's true.
I was like, okay, fine. So ever since then, but I know sometimes you bring it up and people are like, they get like, you can tell like they get physically uncomfortable because they don't know how to react or they don't know what they're supposed to do. So I think that was a great piece of advice that you gave them. They do try anything else, like other practices, or I don't know, like did you try other things like working out, traveling? I don't know. What other things worked for you during that time?
Again, things that make me happy, right? My brother towards right before the accident was like super, super fit. And his last breakfast was broccoli with eggs. And I think it was the only time he ever had that. And I remember my mom telling me, like, he asked me to make him broccoli with eggs. And because he was in his head so, like, super fit. And he got abs. That's the joke, that he actually got the abs. So COVID, you know, we're home. And so I feel like I started this thing of, like, do it for Chris. Do it for my brother. Like, make yourself healthy for him. So we all started, like, a push-up challenge because he was so good at push-ups. And I did lean on that a lot. I leaned on working out, but doing it for him.
Okay. Well, that was the motivation, but you still did it.
Yeah.
And it would make you feel good.
Yeah, for sure. We made our gym in the garage, and I put up a picture of my brother because he's always taking pictures with his muscles, you know. And so we have a picture in the garage with him and the shirt that he's wearing in the picture. I boxed it. I put it in a box. It's a Superman shirt that I had gotten him. And, you know, he's always a reminder to, like, keep going. You need gains. Like, keep working out.
Okay. Did you ever try, like, meditation or therapy or what else? And I know it was a lockdown, so there weren't a lot of things that maybe
there was things online. You know what I do for work. And so there are opportunities to do things online. I just felt like my therapy was just me talking by myself to the camera on social media. And so whether I was happy or sad, I just kind of shared it. Like, today, this is what I'm going through and I'm thinking about it. Whether 5 people saw it or 100 people saw it, I never really checked. It was more, that was my therapy, just me releasing like what I'm going through and what I'm feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like journaling in a way,
Yes.
but
Except
like
sharing
on
it
a camera.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm sure I would expect that people, when they saw it, I know I did, I would respond to your.
A lot of people did though, and I
So,
appreciated it.
But that's what I'm saying. I think like that was probably helpful as well to have, because then now, yeah, you're talking on camera, but now you're getting support,
Yes.
like, encouraging messages or whatever.
You know, the feeling of losing my brother, and I'm sure baby Dex also, it's not something you wish on anyone, right? Like, before my brother, I had never experienced that type of loss. I had lost grandparents, maybe an aunt, people, but just people that you live with day to day that are always with you. It's a different loss. And I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So when that happened, I then unfortunately started seeing other people having that type of loss too. And it's kind of like, when you buy a car and you're like, I've never seen this car, but then when you get it, you see it everywhere. It's kind of like you're not aware that these type of losses, these things are happening all the time, but you're not aware until you're kind of going through it, right? So I remember with you, your story happened before my brother. And I remember being like, I can't imagine what you're going through. But once I had that, it made me come back to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I started seeing other people that had lost coming to me. And like, I guess I was happy that I was able to help them, because they were like, how do you do it? How do you just show, like, how do you wake up? Kind of what you're saying, everything we're talking about. Yeah. How are you supposed to just keep going? And it was nice to be able to be there for other people.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I wanted to, that's what, like God put this podcast or this vision in my heart that I needed to do. I needed to figure out a way to help other moms or other people with grief. I mean, obviously I can't sit here and talk about what it feels like to lose a brother, because that's not my case. So that's why I started the podcast for moms. But you're a mom. You didn't necessarily lose your child, but he was sort of your younger brother. It's you raised him like every little girl. You have a doll. He was your doll.
I knew him for 24 years.
Right.
Yep.
So it feels good. Is what I'm saying too. It feels great actually to be able to give hope to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And also hope, but with the tools. Right. I always talk about the tools. I wish somebody would have given me tools and said, hey, try these things, try all of this. You're going to feel this. This is going to feel normal. This is okay. At whatever time, at whatever pace, and whatever order you want to try it in, but just try it and see what works for you.
Yeah. If I had to narrow it down, I would say give yourself the grace and opportunity to feel all your emotions, because if you try to not feel them, they're going to come back, and probably twice as strong. So just allow yourself to feel all the emotions, but also talk to yourself and say, you know what, it's okay to be sad right now. But then we're going to have to not be sad, because if you have, children, other children, then it's not fair to them. Like, they didn't do anything to see you sad for the rest of your life. They deserve a happy childhood. So do it for them. Do it for your mom. Do it for other people. Yeah. And eventually you end up doing it for yourself.
Yeah. That's actually one of the things that made me, I guess, keep going. That made me not just like sit in the couch and
wither away,
die,
Yeah.
It was the fact that I still had Davin. I had a 2-year-old, and I was like, I can't. And I don't know if somebody told me this or if I thought about it on my own. I don't know. All I remember thinking was, how am I gonna still be? Because he was always very playful and funny. He would, like, even when he was little, he would do funny things. Like, he would just do on purpose to be funny. I don't know. I guess they all go through that little phase.
Yes.
So I was like, how am I gonna show up for this kid? Like, how am I gonna be the mom that plays with him? How am I gonna be that person? I'm not that person. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to laugh ever again. Like, when am I gonna laugh? Is that even gonna be a thing? Like, and then one day he made me laugh. But I remember thinking that I had to be the same mom for him because it wasn't fair that I was going to be a different person than the one he had known for 2 years, you know?
Right.
So I remember thinking, okay, well, I have to figure out how to still be this person, this fun person, this sweet, fun, loving person. Present, exactly. So I that was always like a thing. Like I was afraid that I wouldn't be the same person for him. And the same person meaning like the funny and the good, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously we change and that's normal.
And you know, there's moms that maybe only had one child, and then what if they lose their one child? Now they don't have, so it's not just our children. Like we're a big help, but find that one person that you want to help make their day better. And in return, it will make your day better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whether it be your spouse, your best friend, like other people still love you and need you. If you're here, it's because there's another purpose. So,
and I feel like having gone through a loss, right? Such a big loss. It's unfair if you don't use that to help others.
Right.
Like it happened, it made you stronger, it made you change in some ways. It made you change in some ways, hopefully for the better.
Yes.
So why not do something with that to help other people?
Absolutely.
To help somebody else. And, you know, just, I feel like that's the ultimate.
That's the point. That's
and
the
then
goal.
it feels good. It feels really good to be able to say, damn, I went through this, but it's almost like it gives you the purpose of, okay, I went through it, but now I can do something with my story. It wasn't just in vain.
And I want to thank you because I know this has not been easy for you because we talked about this a little bit before. It's not easy to, it's sad. They're sad moments, but like, I want you to know you did make a difference in my path. I promise, very early on. And you continue to make a difference, and you will continue to make a difference to so many other people.
Thank you for saying that. And now we're going to cry.
Yes.
Well, thank you for saying that because, you know, like with anything, I do wonder, like, is it, you know,
it's not going in deaf ears, I promise, Fabi.
Is it making the impact that it's supposed to? Or
it is.
But is it helping? Is it not helping? Is this podcast, you know, helping or not? Is it giving the hope? I don't know.
Well, you're helping the people that get to sit here and talk to you because you know that it is very therapeutic to share the story and to come talk to you. It's helping you, I think, because you get an opportunity to talk about your loved one, right? Each time. And whether it be now or soon, like there will be a day that this will help others and it will all be worth it.
That's really all I pray for. That's all I want.
You'll get it.
So how are you, and then how long did it take you to like be able to feel happiness again? And your mom too. I mean, at some point, because I know in the beginning you said that the next day she couldn't, she felt guilty for even like just smiling. So
that kept happening. I think that
how do you think you and her, how were you guys able to find happiness after, and what was the time frame more or less?
Little things, right? Like making my son making us smile. And I think once we accepted, so I love taking my brother on cruises, on trips, right? And so I started going on trips and being sad at first, like, oh, he would have been here. But then it was training your mind to say like, no, but he is here. But he is doing these things with me, you know? Like he always finds a way to show up for me and show me that he's there.
Really?
Yes. Like
little signs.
Yes. Always the music, because music was a big deal for us. Sorry. And so, you know, there's days that I don't realize the day and then something happens, a song, or getting here today. Okay. I want you to picture this. I'm driving and what's right by here is a fire department. He wanted to be a firefighter.
Oh.
And I think he did like not an internship, but he had to do like rides. And I think he did it here. So it was just like, man, what are the odds that as I'm pulling up here, that's what's in the corner of the street?
I've never seen it. So the fact that you saw it, it was meant for you because I didn't even know that was right here.
Yes. It's right by here, like a block away.
That was free. That was a sign for you.
Yeah. I took a picture of it to show my husband. So he always finds a way. And I think that kind of helped me. Every time that I would get sad, it was, don't allow it to make you sad. Find a way to turn it into happiness. Find a way to turn it into happy moments. Sometimes it's not easy, right? Sometimes it's not going to happen.
No, but I think that's a great goal, like to do that each time. Because then, like you said, it's it turns something that would have been something sad and us remembering them with sadness. Now you turn it into remembering him with happiness.
Yeah. So, for example, we have our 10-year wedding anniversary coming up, and we're going on a cruise. And so I went like, I want the least expensive cruise, and these are the dates, whatever. Come to find out, it's the same cruise I went with my brother in 2017 or 2018. Like, I had no idea. And I'm like, he's just always showing up. He always finds a way to be like, don't worry about it. I'm not missing out because I actually went on that one. So we're good. So it's every time I think that I'm going to get sad about something, I just tell myself, no, like he is here. He is going to be sharing this. And for my mom, we always bring him up. We always joke about him. We always, just keeping him present, I think helps her too. Because it's not this like past tense, like,
right.
It's been 5 years, but he's just always still with us. And so I think it makes her happy when she hears my daughter say Theo Chris, my son, anybody.
I'm sure it does.
It has to.
Yeah, it does. And the fact that obviously, maybe, I don't know if you guys have had this conversation, but the fact that she had you, like, I'm sure that without you, she wouldn't be where she is today.
I mean...
And I don't know, maybe it's a conversation topic for one day, like not right now, but
yeah.
another day, where you can kind of talk about it. I'm sure I'm certain that that's.
I mean, she says it. She does say it to me. She she's so grateful, and she tells me I am grateful for all the help you've given me throughout this journey. So I've heard it.
Yeah.
But
you'll see it one day. Well, what encouragement would you give to maybe a mom that lost her sibling, whether it's older or younger? What would you, and that she's in deep grief right now, like what would you say to that mom? What would you say to this woman that lost her sibling?
I would say give yourself grace. It's okay to feel what you're feeling, but you have to get out of it because your sibling wouldn't want that for you. They want you to find the courage some way, somehow, to acknowledge, feel, but also now show them. Do it for them. If you can't find anybody else to do it for them. Show them that, like, I'm going to show you I can continue. Because we only get one life, right? We don't know what happens. I'm hoping that I'm going to see him again over there. But while I'm here, I'm going to keep impacting the people that I have around me, keeping my loved one's memory and, present. And then whatever is supposed to happen, God decides, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, you're so brave. Thank you for telling me all this. I mean, I didn't know that I was that for you. I know you had told me a little bit.
I have. I've told you many times. I've messaged you like,
I don't think I believe it.
I'm
like, no.
I know.
But it's nice to hear it, obviously. But thank you for sharing your story and for sharing Chris's story.
I hope I was fine because the whole time I was up here and not here.
You're fine. You're fine. But thank you so much for sharing your story and Chris's story. And I do believe that your story can help so many other moms that may have lost, their sibling. And like you said, sometimes our sibling becomes more like our child than just our sibling.
Yeah.
And seeing how you've been able to find happiness again and keep his memory not only alive, but keep it happy. I'm sure that makes him in heaven.
I think so too. I think he's
very happy.
He's dancing up there.
He's
and
definitely
working
dancing.
out.
Working out and eating eggs and broccoli.
Oh God. I haven't tried that yet. I don't think I will.
I don't know. It's pretty gross.
No.
But thank you so much for spending this time with me and for telling your story. I think you're such a brave person, and the fact that like you have been the rock for your mom, that I think that was meant to be your role.
Yeah.
And you've done an excellent job at it. And maybe seeing you happy and seeing how you honor him and how you keep his memory alive and you think of the happy times, I'm sure that also helps your mom to do the same.
I think so too.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Fabi. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you know a mom that, like today's episode, has lost a sibling, whether it's older, younger, share this podcast with her so that hopefully they can learn something that would help them in their healing journey, just like Erica did. Thank you so much.